Well, hello everybody, it's Season 2 of SmackBack. I'm raring to go. It's Royal Rumble season and we're on the road to WrestleMania. Let's see what happens as SmackDown returns to the very night that it began. Thursday Night SmackDown. So, does that make me Mr. Thursday Night now? I could work with it.
I have something to say.
Byron Saxton interviews Bryan, and the former Undisputed Champion says he's excited to be facing Kane tonight. Kane made things personal after what he did last April, and that he will win tonight at the Royal Rumble, and he will win at WrestleMania, and he believes that he can do it. Enter a buzzkill that's about as welcome as an opinion at a Spider Summit at a Sony meeting as Triple H and the rest of his stable join Kane at ringside. Oh joy, I can already see what's gonna go down. You know, it comes as no surprise that Bryan came at Kane with all guns blazing, and considering the history between Kane and the former Undisputed Champion, can you blame him? This was a very good return for Bryan tonight, and if the Authority had not intervened and cost the match via disqualification, even though it's in the record books Bryan still wins, Bryan would have made Kane the big red job centre, according to Random DCE, tap out. Triple H pulls a Teddy Long and signs a 6-man tag match for the main event this evening. The team of Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, who's oddly enough starting to sound like a whiny adult version of Eric Cartman, who will screw you guys and go home if he's not allowed to cash in, with Big Show with his former Ironclad contract, and I'm a big sellout, and I'm Kane, and according to Dean Ambrose, I'm toothpaste. Look at my range. I'm acting. On the other hand, I'm doing this. Oh, I thought I was enduring a caper. Never give this guy a microphone again! Up next, a video package for the Macho Man Randy Savage's Hall of Fame induction. Now, I could sit here and rant about how it's long overdue, even though it is, and he should have been put in eons ago, which he should have been, but the important thing is the cream of the crop, the king of the mountain, is taking his rightful place in the 2015 class for the Hall of Fame. It would have been more satisfying if the Macho Man was still here to appreciate this, but the mere fact that he's going in and taking his rightful place, he's where he belongs now, in the Hall of Fame. And congratulations to Randy Savage. Probably one of the most charismatic, energetic, and larger-than-life superstars that the WWE, WCW, and any form of pro wrestling and sports entertainment has ever had the privilege of seeing. The guy could cut it on the mic, and he could back it up in the ring. And he's truly missed to this day.
I have something to say.
Bray says he's not human. Gee, what gave him that idea? And he says he will win the Royal Rumble. Am I going to see a thing tonight where everyone says they're going to win the Royal Rumble? Is Owlman going to pop up and says he will win the Rumble and face Heath Slater at WrestleMania for the belt? Because, let's face it, he would. Is the Co-92, how you doing by the way, buddy, going to proclaim he will win the Rumble by appearing on SmackDown tonight? Actually, that'd be awesome. Is A-Log going to win the Rumble and then say he will get Lena Inverse a Divas Championship match? Probably not. But that said, Lena Inverse, even though an anime character, has a few things that our current Divas Champion does not have. And by that, talent and charisma. Make of that what you will. The Miz fell in love with himself at a young age and has remained ever faithful. I'm going to give Jerry Lawler this. That's not bad. One of his better ones, in fact. The Usos put in a decent standard performance, but I was more interested in the Divas' participation in this match. As for one, I like Alicia Fox, face or heel, and Naomi is one of the best performers in the Divas division. And yet, Nikki Bella has the belt. Aha! I guess knowing Cena pays dividends. You're welcome. Miz wins via skull-crushing finale. Joy. And somewhere out in parts unknown, Oni is head desking going, stupid, 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 stupid. I wonder if that's what the creative team say to Vince McMahon on a daily basis, or is it vice versa? Take your pick. Roman Reigns interview next. He says it's one versus all at the Rumble, but tonight he will be there for his brother Dean Ambrose and Daniel Bryan against the Authority because they all detest the Authority. You're not the only one. Get them off TV. They're the worst thing to happen since Johnny Ace. And given current circumstances, I'd actually like to have Johnny Ace. People power. Memories.
I have something to say.
Random DCE's only interest in watching WWE comes out to promote his concerns over Brock Lesnar. I can't do it as well as he does. Sad truth. Paul reminds us once again about Brock conquering The Undertaker's streak. How many times is this now? I've honestly lost count. He retells the match of Lesnar taking the Undisputed Championship from Cena, and Seth Rollins decides to interrupt. I'm not sure if I should be grateful for this, as Seth Rollins is almost as bad as listening to Stephanie sounding like Eric Cartman. Screw you guys, I'm going home. If Triple H doesn't get to have his way, I'm going home. Oh, God. Oh. How does Trey Parker do that, if it is him that does the Cartman voice? Seth tries to cash in and then gets intimidating with Heyman if he doesn't get his way. Channeling his inner intense Edge with the way he was getting venomous. Kind of like how Edge was in 05 and 06. Just this, type of persona. But to give Edge credit, he played that well. Heyman makes a very chilling proclamation that ever since Brock has gone on this winning rampage since last year, he has gained power in the WWE. There's some truth to what he said.
Bring out the Divas!
A very brief match, but it did make Natalya look good. Despite Paige's involvement in slapping Nikki, Natalya won via sharpshooter and putting a snooty Divas champion in her place. And I liked that. Big Show interview stroking his ego, saying how he knocked out two of the biggest superstars in the WWE in John Cena and Roman Reigns, and how he'll win the Royal Rumble. Sure, Big Show. An X24 rider is besties with Kevin Nash. You're welcome. Kane steps in and says he'll win the Royal Rumble. Oh, goody.
It's a squash.
Barrett Did you get that cape from Skeletor? Alrighty, get your He-Man jokes in. Barrett and the bad news of the universe. Barrett. All it took was 2 minutes 50 seconds and Barrett retained his Intercontinental title. Or should I say, Barrettor? Yeah. That's probably the worst Skeletor impression ever. Really entertaining match with Sin Cara taking it to Barrett and almost winning it. But one bullhammer elbow and that was all she wrote. Sorry, Sin Cara. Ambrose says he does not play well with others. I thought that was academic at this point. The Rumble is all about getting the job done and doing what is necessary to win. The ends justify the means. And as far as the Royal Rumble's concerned, 100% accurate. You gotta do what you gotta do. For SmackDown's first main event since returning to the day where it all began, this delivered what it needed. 15 years ago, the premiere episode of SmackDown, the main event featured The Rock and Triple H for the then World Wrestling Federation Championship, which Triple H won courtesy of Shawn Michaels super kicking The Rock. Kind of a prelude for things to come in the future. Granted, there was no title on the line in tonight's main event, but there was plenty of action and entertainment and good television for those in attendance and for those watching at home. Daniel Bryan gets the win via running knee on Kane. 2 wins in one night. Yes! Yes! Yes!
I have something to say.
Really, Triple H? If Daniel Bryan loses to Kane in a rematch next week, he not only loses the match, but he loses his spot in the Royal Rumble. Stroking your ego much? But then again, what else is new? For the Season 2 opener and return to Thursday nights, I got what I wanted from good, competent matches, unpredictable excitement, and Bryan winning twice. SmackDown gets an A+. Right, this is just going to be an impromptu thing that I'm going to do at the end of every bout, or try to. Let's get into it with the Authority. Most people know the Authority is one of the major contributing factors as to why Raw Down Rebound Generation 1 ended in May of last year. Because everyone knows the torment and the painful scripts and matches that Oni, L-Man, and me had to get through on a weekly basis just to be able to present, our reviews and whatnot. I mean, with SmackDown, I kind of got the lesser of two evils, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And I've maintained for years, SmackDown is the better show. On the grounds that I actually get more wrestling in one episode of SmackDown than I would do within 2 weeks of Raw. And SmackDown doesn't seem to be overloaded with segments, commercials. I mean, yes, SmackDown does have segments and commercials, but it's nowhere near as bad as what you get with Raw. And as much as I love wrestling, I don't need 3 hours of wrestling on SmackDown each week. You take the commercials out, SmackDown is 80 to 85 minutes. Somewhere in between. And I have to question, and I've been very candid about this in the RDR forum and the SmackBack forum, if the Authority had been brought back around Elimination Chamber, or Fastlane, as the pay-per-view that's replacing Elimination Chamber this February. As to what Fastlane is going to entail, nobody knows at this point. Or if the Authority had been reinstated after WrestleMania, there would have been a nice 4 to 5 month gap. 1 month wasn't long enough. And I just get the sense... Now, whether this was just Triple H's way of politicking his way to get back on TV, I honestly don't know. But this is the world of sports entertainment and WWE specifically, so it's... nobody really knows. And writing, creative, booking, call it what you will for WWE, has been kind of a hit and miss in the last few years. And you look at the inconsistencies that have gone on, particularly in regards to the breakup of the Bellas and then putting them back together after October, November, and they're acting like nothing happened around SummerSlam, where they unceremoniously got split up, and more to the point, Nikki Bella turned on her sister Brie during the rather lackluster Brie Bella versus Steph match. But to give Steph her due credit, she hadn't wrestled in over 10 years, and even then she wasn't that great. I mean, the cat fight that she had with Sable at Vengeance 03 was passable. But with cat fights, it's basically just a female version of a street fight. There's not really a lot of wrestling required. But it'd be nice if there was some consistency. And I don't know why Dolph Ziggler's going to be off TV for a while, but according to Sean's View Entertainment, Ziggler has evidently been working injured for a while. As to how injured, it's not really clear, but those are rumours. Treat them as such until you hear something a little bit more concrete. But I think it's stupid to have him off TV for a while. They've got Daniel Bryan back, so that's one good thing. And tonight, what I saw on SmackDown, he hasn't missed a beat. If anything, he looked as strong as ever. So it's real good to have him back on TV. And for whatever reason, everything just flowed so much more competently and fluidly, if that's even a word. But, yeah. Do we really need the Authority back this quickly? Now, they might argue from their perspective, yes, we do need them. I would look and say, you want some of the worst TV that we've had for 2 years straight since Johnny Ace as GM? You really want this back on TV? You know, given the choice, I would rather have Eric Bischoff back in charge of Monday Night Raw and possibly put Paul Heyman in charge of SmackDown. Heyman as heel, face, or tweener, the guy's very likable and he's such a natural on the microphone. Because I think he's the only decent mouthpiece that the WWE has got at the moment. And yes, I did see the clip from Raw this week of the contract signing between Lesnar, Cena, and Rollins. And good lord, it's like, as soon as I saw Lesnar grab the mic, I'm like, oh no. Let me tell you something, Mr. Curb Stomp. I'm like, give me that. No. You do not have microphone. Oh. To quote Oni Rikaku from what he said about Ryback having an interview in the fall of 2012, never give this guy a microphone again. And here's the thing. I've noticed that, and I agree with a lot of these meme pictures that are going around on Facebook. Seth Rollins curb stomps Brock Lesnar, doesn't cash in. And also, why is a guy who has money in the bank, going to the Royal Rumble, now in a triple threat match for the WWE Undisputed Championship, and he has Money in the Bank. Why is he being added to this match? I mean, why not just wait for Cena and Lesnar to obliterate each other, regardless of who comes out the victor, and Rollins could just come in and cash in? But then again, there's this other theory that I have that Cena will somehow win at the Rumble, becoming a 16-time world champion, equaling with Ric Flair, but he's just spent. Rollins comes in, cashes in, 1, 2, 3, new champion. That's one theory I have. And I think that could happen. But that situation is kind of reminding me of what took place during the brand extension in May, June 2005, when Raw had its Gold Rush tournament. I think it was just after Backlash 2005, at least a few weeks after that. Eric Bischoff created, I think, at least either a 16-person tournament where the winner would win #1 contender's spot against Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw, and I'm guessing it was just to counteract SmackDown's Judgment Day, because for those who were either too young to remember or weren't a fan back then, there was a time during the brand split where pay-per-views like Backlash, Vengeance, Unforgiven, and Taboo Tuesday were exclusive to Raw, and you had No Way Out, Judgment Day, Great American Bash, No Mercy, and Armageddon being exclusive to SmackDown. And what they would tend to do, if Raw was having Backlash, SmackDown would have this slightly bigger main event, and vice versa when SmackDown was having a pay-per-view and Raw would just have something slightly grander to counteract it. And the point I'm getting to, at the time during the Gold Rush tournament, Edge was the first ever Money in the Bank winner when he won the first briefcase at WrestleMania 21 in a match that Chris Jericho created, yet has never won. Interesting. Now, Edge made it to the final to face Batista and had Money in the Bank. And I'm looking thinking, oh, but also, a week before that was the infamous heel turn of Lita turning on Kane, but as we all know, in real life, Lita was getting heat for being in the love triangle of herself, Matt Hardy, and Edge, because Lita cheated on Matt Hardy with Edge in real life. And that was when we had some of the weeks on Raw where Matt Hardy would actually invade the arena, and JR, King, and Coach, when he was the third announcer for Raw, they wouldn't commentate whilst what was happening until Matt was actually officially signed back on. But it made for good TV. And like I say, the situation with Rollins being Mr. Money in the Bank but being part of the Undisputed title match is reminding me of what happened during the Gold Rush tournament from 2005. And on that same night is when Ric Flair turned on Batista, and Triple H comes out saying, "You want to fight me now? Hell in a Cell," which then led to Batista versus Triple H 3. Which was actually a very brutal Hell in a Cell match from what I remember. Ugh. Well, I've covered a few things since doing this after bout, or post bout, if you want. And, yeah. What did you guys think of this week's SmackDown? Do you think returning to Thursday nights is good for the brand and the product? Did you like the new graphics and the new look? Do you like the fact that Jerry Lawler has come back to SmackDown? I think this is like the first time since 2001, 2002 that Jerry Lawler has actually been made part of the SmackDown announce team, since when he used to be part of the main SmackDown announce team when SmackDown first started some 15 years ago. Because back in the day, it would be JR and King for Monday Night Raw, and then for SmackDown it would be Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler for SmackDown. But now, the setup that we've got for Monday Night Raw is Michael Cole, Booker T, and I'm not sure who else is announcing for Monday Night Raw. I know that for SmackDown now, it's Byron Saxton, who I think is actually a decent announcer. You know, he's finally gotten off the WWE app segments and actually made it onto the announce team. And the guy has got a lot of good insight, a lot of good charisma, and the guy's very likable. And you've got two veteran announcers with Michael Cole. He's no JR. Let's not kid ourselves. Michael Cole, on his best day, cannot hold a candle to what JR has done in the near 20 years he had been with the WWE. Nowhere near. But you get Jerry Lawler as one of the best comedy analysis commentators. And even in the PG era, he brings so much to the table to lighten the mood and make things what they are. JBL on Monday Night Raw with Booker T and Michael Cole, excuse me. I like some of the changes that they've made. SmackDown tonight, like I say, was decent, but as far as Monday Night Raw is concerned, that for me is no-go territory. Y'all know why I don't go to Raw these days, and you know what? I've said my piece about Raw so many times before now, even I'm getting tired of it. So, this is a Raw-free zone, unless there happen to be video packages from Raw mentioned on SmackDown, in which case, you know, I'll just mention it's like video packages or highlights or whatnot. But yeah, SmackBack is back. Royal Rumble in 2 weeks, more or less. The road to WrestleMania is beginning. Who will go into the Rumble match and win and headline WrestleMania 31 for the Undisputed Championship? We'll find out. Good night from the night.